Staveley's joined. Do you remember Shauna? She was my intern for a while.
Yep.
And yep. So Shauna has joined. Hey guys, I hope there's no lag in the feed. If there is, we're trying new stuff here. We're trying new technology. But I am Chad Andrews. I am being joined by Skype. By the way, they did not pay for this by any stretch of the imagination. What up, Brian? So Lauren, I tell you what. Instead of me talking about you, I'd rather either you or your former. Wow. So there's a former national champion in the house, and it's not you.
Yeah. Brad Huff is my main squeeze. He is also a national champion in crit racing. We'll take that. I was a 3-time national champion on the velodrome, the scratch race, the individual pursuit, and the Madison. The first one I won was the Madison with Kate Wilson back in 2011, I think, and I'd never really done a proper Madison. I'd done Madison practice, and Kate was 18 at the time, and we're getting coached by Roger Young, and we're about to go out and race, and there's some sprinters just kind of rolling around the track real slow, and one of them just slides right down, and Roger's looking at us, and it happens behind him, and he doesn't even check up, doesn't even look back to see if they're okay. He just looks right at us, keeps going, and he says, "They're just testing the track." It's like, what? I'm sure you saw both of our eyes just get like saucers and like, what are we about to do? Yeah, and then we won. It was pretty cool. It's a cool sport. I like the Madison a lot. It's pretty confusing if you're not like following it from start to finish. But no, it's cool. And then I think it was the year later that I went back to the track and raced Labra and national championships. I won the individual pursuit, got off the track, got on the rollers to cool down, changed the bars on my bike, changed helmets, got back on the track, started racing the scratch race, and end up off the front, end up lapping the field with another gal. And I'm thinking to myself, they're really letting me do this. So boom, like within 20 minutes of these two races, I won 2 national championships. And I was like, what just happened? It's pretty cool.
It sounds like a couple of the people are saying that you got a little bit of an echo.
Yeah.
Can you... Is it Brad that's back there saying the exact same thing as you, or is it maybe you've got another device open that's causing an echo? Or turn down your volume just a little bit on your laptop.
Okay, I tried to turn down my volume. See if that helps.
Yeah, if you hit the mute button, it'll probably work.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
I bet you that fixed it.
Boom.
All right, so, but that's not the only thing that you've done. There's one other race that you participated in that every female bike racer in the world, and what we say in the sport, gave you a leash. And you took that leash.
Tour of the Gila.
No, not the Gila. No. You had a leash at this particular bike race. I'm just going to say it's a classic race. It's mud pies and shit roads. And what was the name of that race?
Durango Cyclocross.
Bob's Backyard Crit and cow pies. No, it was Liège-Bastogne-Liège, Lauren. Do I have to keep reminding you of your win?
No, it was not. Bastogne-Liège. I don't know why you keep hung up on that. It's Get Wevelgem.
You know my favorite thing about you?
Please get this right. Get Wevelgem. Say it 3 times fast.
I love saying that because I want to hear you get all upset in your Mississippi way and go, it's Get Wevelgem. It's Get Wevelgem.
It's also called Get Bubblegum.
So tell us a little bit about that before we get into the whole, let's make fun and have a great time with this. But tell us a little bit about your experience with that. You got a big leash, and a lot of the top pro teams were just like, okay, let's let her go. She's not going to make it. Is that kind of a good synopsis, or?
Well, actually, we it was with the national team. We flew over 2 days before, so we were super jet lagged. this was an opening race for Flanders for the weekend, right? So against in the middle of the week. And I think we had a couple of girls on the team, the national team, that had never done a spring classic. So most of the race, I was actually coaching these athletes through the race, because in Belgium, you basically have the Belgium crack right in the middle of the road. So you race just to that crack like an echelon, like you do to the side of the road. So I was up there kind of like educating them through that. And it was all together. We went over the Kimmelberg twice. And then it opens up the last 25K to big roads and back into town or whatever. And I followed a group.
No.
Say again?
I was going to say, tell us what the name of the town is, but it's...
I don't know.
All right, so finish.
And so, I follow a group, an attack, and there 6 of us kind of roll off the front. The one person that really missed it that probably shouldn't have was Kirsten Wild. So her national team was there, and she was leading that team. So they missed it. So they ended up chasing for a while, and our gap just kept growing. We had the Belgian national champion, Lisbeth. I can't remember her last name. We had Bowles Dolmans in there, and a couple more, like, not A-list riders, but, right there below it. And I was in the national team kit. A lot of times, over there, they look at the national team kit and like, nah, she's new, she's inexperienced, she knows what she's doing. I'm sure after we had just been coaching half of them through the race anyway, they're probably like, nah, we'll be fine. And basically it came down to about the last 3K that the girls started attacking each other, and it was like, man, this is kind of still early. Like, we just raced like 150K. Our legs are shot. Like, is this the time to really be striking out on your own? You think you're going to hold off 5 people, solo for the last 2 or 3K? And so I just followed wheels, and knew, like, I just didn't think any of that was going to stick. And you could just tell based on the effort that people were putting out and how fast we would close the gap to them. Excuse me, they would close the gap. I didn't touch the win, because I knew, like, whatever I had left, I had to spend it for that last sprint, whatever was coming up. And so about a K left, K and a half. There was one gal off solo. There was one gal in no man's land, and then the rest of us. And that's when I was like, all right, that instinct hits. Like, I got to go now. So I left the group, attacked the group, got to that second girl, like, took a second, hit her again, went, found that first girl, and then went again. And I was like, this is it. And now here's the finish line. And I'm thinking to myself, is there somebody else up the road? Like, surely I'm not about to win this race. And I'm like, I'm about to win this race. And so we had a Dutch Swanee, Angela van Smorenberg, who was actually my director on Tibco in 2012. And so I crossed the finish line, and she's like flipping out. And I'm just thinking to myself, cool, I won a UCI race. This is, I'd never heard of this race before. I'm on good form. It's good opener for Flanders. And she's like, you just won Ghent Wevelgem. And I'm like, cool, yeah. I just won a UCI race, no big deal. And then we're backstage and cleaning up, and 2 of the girls that got second and third are like putting on makeup and fixing their hair, and I basically have my wet wipe. I'm like, what y'all getting all dressed up for? And they're like, we're going to be on national television. And I was like, nobody in the U.S. is going to see this.
We saw it.
And we had to wait on the men to finish to do podium together. And all I remember is that Sagan was second, and some guy named Deckenkob won. And I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who Sagan is. So backstage, give Sagan a high five. Yeah, bro. And to, like, just have a big piece of humble pie stuck in my mouth. This was the first time that the national team had used the Quarry kits. So I'm on stage, brand new kit. And, like, I put my arms up like this, or whatever. And it rises up to like expose my belly button. So you'll see like every single photo is cropped to like right below the USA just because. And I was like, you know what? It's good. That keeps me right down on earth, right where I need to be. I did. So yeah, until it wasn't until like flying home after that whole block that Jim Miller was head of athletics in, and he's like, that was a big race. And he's like, that's about to change your career. And I mean, it didn't. Looking back, like I don't know that it so much changed my career, but it definitely has changed my retirement. And now, I mean, I totally get it. And I joke with Lindsay Goldman that I just want a T-shirt that says "I won Gent Wevelgem," because until you kind of drop that in conversation, people are like, "Yeah, cool, you raced your bike, that's great." But it's just like until you can drop that, then people are like, "Oh wait, what? You won what?" It's like, "Oh, validation." So whatever, it's cool.
That's a great story, and I love the fact that you're. Let's see. Brian just said no. Oh, Johnny Clark just joined, so that's pretty nice, Johnny.
Boy.
Johnny is what? He's been racing like 30 years or something. No worries. He's probably coming from your side into the mic. Can still understand. So the issue could be me because I just checked it on Periscope and Twitter, and it seemed to be fine, but. Who knows? I mean, it could be me, but the stream looked pretty good. I mean, you look good and I look old, so we're square. I did turn off the mic. Let me see if I can find another feed here that maybe. Let me close YouTube.
Johnny, how's dad life?
Lauren wants to know how dad life's going, Johnny. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this COVID thing.
And he was just
flying somewhere. I'm curious where he was going
Mexico,
or coming from.
Let's see if he responds. Let's see what's going on with Johnny. Stewie Polton. Stewie, he was my pilot. Stewie Polton, he was my pilot at the Tour of Utah for the past 2 years. So he's calling, and it is...
Oh, nice. Cool.
Dude, you should be in bed. Anyway, so let me know if you guys still... Hey, Lauren. Hey, Leslie. What's up? Leslie Ann says hello. Lauren. Wendy Reed just joined, so I'll let you know who joins if you recognize any of these names. But I am being joined by, just to reset before we get really started here, Lauren Hall of... Wait. Oh, wow. What do you do for USA Cycling? I forgot to ask.
I now work with USA Cycling Foundation, so fundraising for USA Cycling, which is new and interesting. And what I don't know about fundraising, I can definitely make up for in the passion for the sport that I have. So I can talk cycling all day. Definitely learning BMX. I don't know anything about BMX and who those athletes are, and just kind of catching up on a lot of the men's stuff as well. That when you're racing, you kind of just stick your head in the sand and do what you know. So learning about the men's side of things as well, and Brad can definitely educate me a lot on that, and has, and then announcing national championships helps a lot too, just to kind of keep up with everything that was going on. But now that everything is canceled and moved, yes, it's interesting times, tough times, but here in Utah, we're still able to get out and about, thank goodness, and go for runs. Since it's snowed this morning and it's only 45 degrees, I don't ride when it's wet or cold anymore because I don't have to.
And neither do I, because there's no real sense.
And I also prefer not to ride the trainer. Thank you so much for not making this a trainer ride on Skype.
I own indoor training centers, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress. Yes, Brian Kennedy. I tried to look for my headphones. I can't find them. That's a great point. I'm going to turn down the volume just a little bit to see if we can mitigate the little bit of feedback that we're getting. Yeah, and I think it might be on man.
I was muting when I was telling the Ghent story. If that helped, I don't know.
It came across fine. Yeah, so you guys can just post it on how it feels. I mean, how it sounds. I don't care how it feels. Yeah.
I don't want to know how it feels.
And knowing us, you never know. All right, so
trying to be flexible with the times,
let's
right?
get into this.
go with the flow.
All right, so this is a really trying time, Lauren, with everything that we've got going on. You and I are I would consider us, pretty good friends. I would consider us. There goes the Darth Vader behind you. I would consider, you a compatriot in the world of professional cycling. You and I have actually worked a couple gigs together. I've commentated so many of your bike races, so many I can't remember. But this is kind of a game changer, and I wanted to talk about, from your perspective, what it means to go through what we're going through right now. Because yesterday, when I had this discussion with everybody, I'm gonna turn down the gain a little bit too. When I was talking to a lot of the people that were on Facebook and YouTube last night, there's a lot of stress that's going on. Our coached athletes are stressed. Everybody's kind of feeling the stress. What is how are you receiving what's going on right now?
Same. Well, it's funny because there'll be conversations that I have, and I'm like, okay, you know what, this is going to be okay, and it is going to be okay. It's just a matter of time of when. And then there are times that, unfortunately, like on the internet, you get the good and the bad, right? And so I'll get something that is outrageous, and my freak out meter just goes through the roof. And I had the urge to call mom and dad or check in with them. They're in Mississippi, and I've already asked them, should I come home and, I don't know, just be there? Like, Brad and I are in a condo here. Is it more stable to be in a house and a home, where I grew up? And Dad's like, no, stay. I think he's good. Like, no, I don't need to hear kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, should I be there
to the store for them? They're of the age. It's worrisome. But at the same time, it's just like, it's nice to do stuff
work
and to
do stuff
connect and to connect. Yesterday I talked to Lizzie Banks. I talked to Molly Brewer, a friend of mine that was associated with Boulder, that was associated with Message with Ruth Winder, Deanna Penuela, who's down in Columbia.
Can I stop you right there? Because Ruth is she back home or is she still in Europe?
No, she's back home. Yeah.
So she came back home.
Yeah. So the only one I know that stayed, or the only two that I know that stayed, is Ben King and Taylor Wiles. Are the only ones I know personally.
Wow. And are they in Como or where are they?
Ben is in Italy. I don't know where. Taylor's in Taylor with Olivia.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow, that's got to be so stressful. Okay, so and then what about Daniela? Penuela. What is her thoughts about Colombia?
They're on lockdown.
In Colombia, they are.
Yeah. And Loretta Hansen, she's in Australia. It hadn't really hit there yet. She's out riding and training. And it's just good. It's kind of fun. We have a WhatsApp group from the United Healthcare Days. And it's kind of like come back to life, which makes me happy because I'm not racing anymore, but I still love staying connected with those gals. So,
So
is it?
That's every day. It just fluctuates. Freak out. It's cool. Freak out. It's cool.
Do you?
Also,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that Dr. Kristen Cowan, she was on short psych.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah.
I coached Kristen.
Really?
Yeah, many years ago.
And she's solid gold.
Yep.
And so, man, she's helped me through all kinds of stuff, right? So, following her Instagram, she posts like the keep calm, it's gonna be all right, or things to do. So, yeah.
Do you get a sense that this is, even though we have to have this social distancing, especially in the Pro Peloton? For those of you who don't know, the Pro Peloton is so tight. Sergey Vetkov, Mark Anderson, Tammy Calder, Bill Bailey, Gary Zafaris, and Brian Kennedy. Welcome to our show with Lauren Hall of USA Cycling, former pro. Do you get a sense, because of the tight-knit community that the cycling world has, that even when you stopped racing, the connection was there, but do you feel some sort of sense of like we're even closer now? Like we reach out to people that we haven't talked to in a while and get them closer to us? I mean, even though they're maybe in Australia or Colombia or Girona or some other place, or is it just the same?
I think now it's just that I know that they're more accessible just because they're probably not as tired because they're not training near as much if they're riding the trainer, only gonna ride it for so long, or they're not in Europe prepping for some race, you don't know what time it is or whatever. So, I follow on Instagram, right, and we follow on Twitter, but now you see people posting in-house, well, for most of my gal friends, it's baking or puzzles or whatever, riding the trainer. So I'm like, oh, cool. I know they're more accessible, and so I can just pick up the phone and call them, and there's a good chance they'll probably answer. And like I said, I'm going to do a call after this with Kate Courtney, Katie Hall, Leah Thomas.
Oh, geez, so, you're going through the whole list.
Yeah. So it's I think we still like that engagement, and just like, what are you doing? Like, so you get a little bit more sense of what's going on when you actually talk to them instead of just look on Instagram and be like, oh yeah, today, like all I'm gonna post is that I went out for a run or whatever, instead of like, no, really, how are you doing? And just like, what do you think? I always like that too, just to hear what others are thinking and how they're feeling. So yeah, I guess there's a bit more sense of connection or trying to stay connected.
Yeah, and I think maybe you hit the nail on the head when you say trying to stay connected, because who knows what's going to happen, how long the races are going to be off, for how long. Like you and I were supposed to do a couple, some commentating gigs up together coming in April and May, and all those have disappeared. Let me go one step further with you. Let's flash back last year. This happens last year to you. No, 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. What do you do?
Party. I'm just kidding. No.
There's some sense of honesty in that statement. I mean, it's March. You're getting ready to head to. I mean, you are in Europe right now, getting ready to race, and you're in Italy. Let's just say, and you're doing a training block, and boom, this hits you. What goes through your mind?
It's almost like injury. You just have to go back to all right, start over, reset. I was actually thinking about this on my run today. Like, what is the answer to that? And for me, it would just be like I said, injury, going back to your group of people that you talk to, staying connected with your family, and controlling what you can control. I'm sure. I think about these athletes that are prepping for the Olympics. They have for years. So I would think that they're still very focused and probably I would think they're still training pretty hard if they can, or they're still focused on the Olympics because as of now they're still on, right? Until otherwise. And I think the same thing, with this, and you just kind of go back, control what you can, and you see Kate doing gym work inside. You're gonna ride the trainer. You're gonna do yoga. You're gonna stretch. You're gonna eat right. You're gonna get the right sleep, and you're trying not to stress so much. And that's probably what I would be doing. Control what I can.
Control what you can. What you just said is a very interesting, and I don't think that you maybe realize what you said. You're an Olympian. Doesn't matter what sport. And you're getting ready, and Tokyo's right around the corner. But Dr. Roshan, USA Cycling, this is something I said in yesterday's live stream, talking about training. You do not want to put yourself in an overreaching or overtraining situation because you open up the airplane hangar to let any virus in. So if you're an Olympic athlete, you are going towards a peak right now. You have to peak. You have to get ready for a peak. But yet you leave yourself extremely susceptible to sickness. You being on, let's say you're on the short list for the Olympics, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Isn't it funny though that I see all these normal people now doing everything that cyclists already do? If you ever like when you go to the grocery store and you have to open a door for cyclists,
It's like
we do this, right? And then we avoid people, and we're pretty diligent about washing our hands, and cleaning down the airplanes, before you fly and all that. And that was what was so funny. My last flight, I took to Mississippi for an event and flying home, and one of my girlfriends, who is a paranoid flyer, Andrea Dvorak.
yes,
I told her, I was like, now's the perfect time to fly. Like, planes have never been cleaner, because everybody had gloves. They put on gloves, and then they would clean the surface and offered up wipes to everybody. And then they would sanitize their hands, and I'm just like, wow. So, now everybody's just doing what athletes do. It's kind of funny. But I still think we always risk being sick anyway by the amount of travel we did, and by the proximity of people we stayed with. We were in hotels and buffet lines, my God. So I don't know. I think there's probably some people that are like, well, I'm going to train to an extent, and then I guess I'm not a coach. You tell me what you tell your athletes to do. I don't know.
What do I tell my athletes to do?
And just like, also like Dr. Rashawn said, I think it was Dr. Rashawn, he's basically saying, 99% of the time when you go out and ride your bike, you don't end up in the ER. But let's just make sure you definitely don't end up in the ER now when you do group ride, not group rides, but go out and ride your bike. Like, don't go ripping some mountain bike single track or anything.
Well, I discussed it yesterday. What the challenge is for me as a coach is that, and I discussed this yesterday in our live stream, is that telling somebody that we don't know when we're going to race is so hard for an athlete to hear. It's like, what do you mean? I don't understand what you mean by when you say you don't, because we don't know. And if you don't know it, and you don't know how to, I've been coaching for 25 years, but I've never been in a situation like this. I've gone an athlete with an injury, a broken leg.
Yeah.
I know. Okay? Yeah. This is the protocol.
Treat this like a concussion.
Yeah.
Because
you don't. Yeah, because you don't know when the concussion's going to heal. Wow, this is
Mark did out in California, and he set the Strava challenge. You can get somebody to pony up some good money and have a KOM challenge. I don't know, just to give something for people to look forward to.
Are you going to try that KOM challenge?
Heck no. Have you seen how long that is? I'm a sprinter. I am not a climber. I was a sprinter. I was never a climber. And that is very important.
That's the distinction.
Brad and I went to St. George, Utah last weekend, and we did 55 miles of gravel on Saturday and then 55 on Sunday, and we were pretty tired. We're not cyclists anymore. We're not professional cyclists anymore.
Yeah, but St. George is pretty flat and hot, right?
Well, not now. It's not. It's like in the 50s. Maybe.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. When I'm there, it's 110. Yeah. It's a freaking oven. Right. Just put Chad on the back of a motorcycle and put a fire suit on him and give him a microphone. And by the way, let's have the first stage in St. George.
I would be down to do that. I love motorcycles. I'd love to do that. Can you do you do like Bradley Wiggins? Do you get like right in the peloton and just start interviewing people like while the race is going on?
Is Bradley Wiggins like me?
Oh, sorry, excuse me. And then interview all the race directors as you're driving along.
Yep, that's actually...
It's gotta be fun.
There is one thing that I learned the very first year that I started doing it for Fox. And we're going on a tangent here, but the very first year that I did it for Fox, I remember coming up to the car, and I am inherently somebody that shocks anything during the winter. like anything I touched.
Yeah.
And I came up to one of the team cars, and I know intellectually to not touch the car, but there was some imbalance, and I reached over, and I touched the car, and whoa, pow! It was like, it almost threw me off the bike. I was like, oh my God. And then other things, I love director sportifs that have been doing a long time. They'll take the mirror and they'll tuck it in, because I don't want to go, hey, can you tuck the mirror in? Because you get a handlebar, you get a motorcycle, and you get a mirror, and you get 40 miles an hour, and you get two people on a very heavy motorcycle in a 2-ton car, you got a problem.
Yeah. I did a photo shoot in Borrego Springs with Will Matthews and his moto driver. I can't remember his name. He was super great. He's done, a ton of races. And he's got those big panniers, the metal panniers on the side of the motorcycle. And, of course, the cool shot is descending. And so Will's on the back of the moto, and we do the descending shots, and then we turn around and go back up the mountain. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to hitch a ride. And turn in the corner, I'm on the inside just for whatever reason. And you turn left, and the pannier drops, and I'm like hanging on down here. And then he goes and he turns right, and then the pannier's up here, and I'm like, whoa! So I just think about that, like you guys being on the back, and those guys driving those motorcycles are badass.
Yeah, Stewie, actually, I'm not sure if he's still on because it's really late there, but yeah, there's something in Utah that we call, hey guys, real quick, a reset. Lauren Hall, Chad Andrews, we're here. Lauren, former pro cyclist, winner of Ghent Wevelgem Spring Classic, national champion, overall great friend of mine. And we are talking about COVID-19 and how we adapt. We're kind of going all over the map because that's just the way Lauren and I are. But the tar snakes in Utah in the summer, descending off a huge descent at 65 miles an hour with those tar snakes, you can feel the back wheel when you bomb a chicane. It just goes whoop, whoop. Oh, butt pucker, or get a 90-degree day up at Guardsman Pass or whatever. Then you're coming down. Then you have a tar snake with a thunderstorm. Oh my God! Wow.
Johnny's on. That was when we first moved here. Johnny just loves Guardsman. So Johnny, anytime you want to come out and train, come on out.
Johnny, you are straight up crazy. I mean, that is a nasty climb.
Yeah, well, that's his jam. I mean, he is crazy. So.
Just the thing, he used to be a crit racer.
Well, you have to be an all-arounder in this sport.
No, he was a crit racer. He and his brother both, and then he became a... Go ahead and argue with me, Johnny. Argue with me, Johnny. Tell me you weren't a great crit racer to start this thing.
He was leading out, man. He wasn't a sprinter, right?
What, he's leading his brother out?
Hilton was the sprinter, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, his brother could sprint, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can anymore. I don't even... Yeah. But, I digress. So, let's go back... We're gonna flash back to the COVID. How are you and Brad kind of, doing things? Like, are you going out hanging out with people? Are you? I mean, what are you guys doing in Utah? I mean, what do you do? I mean, obviously you're going for runs, and I don't know how fast you are, but it's easier to social distance yourself with a run than it is at a ride.
Well, so Brad's working from home now, so that's different already because, like I said, we're in a condo. It's not that big, or an apartment or whatever. So we're, when you're in that space in your work environment, and he's on a call and I'm on a call, it's very distracting and it's hard. So there's times like just when we started this call, he was outside, on the computer, bless him, on top of the grill, get it where you can. Now I think he's in the bedroom again on the computer.
Yeah, I saw him jet out.
Where he can get work done, and it felt like the Monday was like this big deep breath, waiting. Okay, here, like waiting for the week to hit, and like what's gonna happen. And so then it's been a snowball effect. Like we've just been working full gas. For me, it's been talking to our current donors, and this is what USA Cycling is doing. This is where we're going, and we're planning, and still trying to be there for the athletes and move forward. And he's trying to explain to his athletes, and like everybody's gotten all the emails from everybody. This is the company's update on COVID. I'm sure you've done one to your athletes, or now you're doing the live stream. Like, this is our stance. This is what we're doing. Like, we're still able to get out. Like, when we can, we go exercise. The weather's been quite iffy this week, which always throws a wrench in things. And
Not here.
It's like, you know what? We're just gonna be at home, and we've got enough food to hang out for a couple of days and just kind of be away from it and not go to the grocery store. And then the earthquake hit 2 days ago.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we wake up to lots of text messages. Like I said, we never felt it here. Rob DeMartini, our USA Cycling CEO, is in Park City, and one of our best friends lives up there as well. And I guess, I don't know, they felt it.
Huh.
And then one of my former teammates, Lauren Kaminsky, actually lives in Park City. And yeah, they definitely felt it. And so that afternoon she messaged, and her and her husband and their boy and then 3 of their friends just piled into the truck and drove over the mountain to go fly fishing. And her husband was the only one fly fishing. And then all of us were just like hanging out and talking and just seeing each other and kind of just like, honestly, just like normal conversation, just because we're tired of talking about COVID. We're
right.
The earthquake, it's just like, we just need some normalcy. So we just like caught up on normal bike riding, friendship,
laughing, joking, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, hanging out outside.
Well, with your job with USA Cycling, who's receptive right now to you pinging them and going, hey, would you like to help our bottom line?
No. It's not really that. It's more like, thank you for staying committed, and we know this is tough times, and we appreciate your support. But that's what it is. Our athletes need you now more than ever. We've got a lot of Olympic medals that are going to be won. So whenever we get to do the Olympics, we're going to be badass. So that's really the message. It's not give me your money because, COVID's hit.
One scale of 1 to 10. 1 being 0 to 10. 0 being no chance, 10 being absolutely. Do the Olympics happen?
Asking the wrong person.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, day to day, hour to hour, it changes, right?
Would you, okay, let me rephrase the question then. Would you be willing to travel in 2 months to Japan to compete against people around the world? Right now.
Yeah.
You would. Even though full...
Yeah.
There is
it's not about us getting sick. And it's not about somebody our age being sick. Right? It's about being sick and then taking it home to somebody that's not.
Yeah, but tell all those people that are in Italy right now that are in their 40s and 30s, 40s and 50s that are getting sick and on ventilators. I think it could be an individual thing. Why take the risk?
Yeah.
And remember, going back to, okay, so let's go over what the great doctor at USA Cycling said. I took notes, and I want to go over them. Yep, Dr. Rashawn.
Dr. Rashawn was also our doctor on United Healthcare, so I know him well. He's a cool dude.
All right, so I'm going to pull up the notes that I pulled from the thing that USA Cycling did. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Dr. Rashawn, don't try to lose weight right now. Do you know why?
No.
If you're a cyclist or an endurance athlete and you try to lose weight right now, cut weight to get to fighting weight, you open up your immune system like, hello.
You're not supposed to do that anyway.
I know. But he brought it up, so I'm just going by what the doctor says.
It was the Q&A, so people had questions for him. So.
No, he brought that up before the Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He suggested, and now this is a few days ago, don't ride in groups of more than 3 to 4.
Check.
You down with that?
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm not asking you to question it. Alan's got a question for you, but hold on one second. Alan, sleep lots. You're pretty good at that, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And especially now, like, stressed out, I'll sleep an extra hour and a half easily and still be tired.
So you don't sleep an extra hour and a half by hitting, you wake up and go, oh, it's time to get up. No, you go back to sleep. You just keep sleeping.
No, I mean, when I roll over and wake up, I wake up. We haven't, Brad had to set an alarm, I think, this morning, and I set one maybe Tuesday, but it was just like, by the end of the day, I'm shot, and I can definitely tell, I know it's stress.
Cortisol, man. It's a killer.
Yeah.
All right.
So just sit up here. What do you need?
A healthy diet.
Check.
Big one. And then finally, exercise. Don't do it too much, because if you do it too much, I referenced it yesterday, and I'm also referencing it today, that if you train too hard right now, you leave that hangar door open, wide open.
Yeah.
But you're not training hard now anyway, are you?
No, everything's canceled. I was gonna do Bow Bikes Bama was my next. No, we have an event scheduled for the foundation on April 11th, which is, I'm guessing, canceled. But Bow Bikes Bama was my next bigger event, I guess. Well,
Do you train for those?
a bit, yeah, because. So, for example, the Red Bluff Fondo that I just did.
Yes.
I was signed up for the 100-mile. And it's Chip and Seal Road. It's.
You've got old lady legs. Or old woman strength.
Dad.
You know what that is, right? Old man strength, old woman strength.
Still, so anyway, I didn't do the hundo. I did like the 65. I did the metric, and I'm so glad I did, because it was like these punchers, and you try and ride with people that don't know how to ride steady, so you ride out of your comfort zone all day, and then by that last 10 miles, you're just like, yeah, exactly. I even made them stop at the aid stops. Like, we're stopping because they are here. They're volunteering. This is what we do on Fondos. We enjoy the day. We don't race it.
Maybe you should tell Phil Guyman that.
Well, he was there. So
Oh, was he?
Fun. Actually, so the courses crossed on each other. He passes. I'm with two other people. And he's like, hey, and we wave. And the next thing I know, he comes up. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, come ride the hundo. And I was like, I don't think I can. I'm just trying to get through these last 20 miles. I'm really, really tired. And I was like, ride in with us. And he's like, oh, no, I got to ride some more. I was like, okay. So he flipped it and then went back. So he'll take the KOM serious. And then the rest of it, he's just having fun.
Yep, good for him. Yeah. All right, so Alan's got a question for you.
Shoot.
How much training, and this could be, I don't know if it's for me or for you or for both, but how much training does it take to be a great sprinter? I've got an idea.
Let's see what you got.
Pick good parents.
Yeah.
Am I lying or am I dying?
Well, it depends. I don't know Alan. So, is Alan already a pretty good sprinter?
Well, I mean, let him tell you that.
Or is he like, Katie Hall and I would sprint together? But, it does take practice.
So, tell me about what you mean by practice. What's practicing?
Yeah, so the last couple of years I've been working down at the Homestretch Foundation down in Tucson, and so we get a new crop of gals in every year, usually some inexperienced riders, and I'll offer up like sprint skills day, and I tell them it's an easy ride. It's going to be an hour and a half max, and that's with riding out to where we're going to go and actually do the sprints and then riding back. I make them stay in the small chain ring, and we work on the pop and separation, because so many people think that sprinting is a match in a big gear, and it's not. It's getting up to that gear and then knowing how to, what that looks like. But I teach them, like, a sprint is accelerate, then you plateau, shift. So, Brad and I have talked about it too. We'll sprint, or we'll shift once or twice in a full out sprint.
And that's a technique.
Right, and knowing where that shift point is on your pedal stroke and what that feels like. So that's why we make them stay in the small chain ring, because it almost exaggerates all that, because you go down to 11 pretty fast and you spin out pretty fast. But you get that leg spin, you get that pop, and like what it feels like to just really throw your bike all over the place without putting out a whole lot of power and being in your 5311. Which, let me tell you, I won every single race on a compact.
I could take that one step further.
Bring it.
BMX racers have some of the highest peak power on gears that are super small because it's that snap that's instantaneous. And you're not going to, for you people that are learning how to sprint, you're not going to start off in the 5311. I mean, very rare people can do that. So BMX racers, when they come out of the gates, they're putting out 1800, some of them, and we're talking a small gear ratio. It's crazy. So it just goes to tell you that if you're going to practice sprinting, do it in a small gear so you can learn the technique. Because if you get the technique down, then and everybody's got their own little technique, but the track will help you. But more importantly, start with the smaller gear. Don't try it in the big gear. It'll get sloppy and ugly.
Again, some of the basic stuff is like, I've got a teeny tiny hand. So the first thing I do is get everybody to get in the drops. Can you reach your levers? Because a lot of people, only sit on the hoods, and even in training, they just sit on the hoods or the tops. And it's like, you need to be down in the drops and practicing that, because not a lot of people have mountains to just descend on or whatever, climb up. And so it's worth, when you're feeling good on those days, to get down in your drops and just kind of get comfortable in that position and make sure that your cockpit is dialed in. And then we go through the sprinting technique that we were just talking about, and then also like how to run at somebody because you're in the draft, and when to step out. That takes practice as well, because you don't just step out and start sprinting, right? You need that momentum.
Yep. Slingshot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Engaged. Slingshot.
Yeah. And then practice. And usually I wouldn't, in my training, there wasn't like a day that was like, yay, sprint day. It was like I did 30-30s or I did 20-10s. And I would put sprinting, or, I would put stand up on my 30-30s or
30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So there wasn't a day that it was just like, I'm going to go sprint. Unless I did the group ride or, like Tuesday Worlds or Saturdays or whatever, I would definitely, no matter where I was or how I was feeling in the day, I would throw in a sprint. Just to, it's good.
Brian Kennedy, I'm sorry, what?
The timing of your sprint.
Timing of the sprint is super critical. Brian Kennedy asked, and I'm assuming he's asking for himself, but maybe just as much to you. Is your bar width as a sprinter, as a good sprinter, was it shorter? Did you have wider? Did you have a longer stem? I mean, what was your setup?
Comfortable as possible. I think most of the time I would run like between a 70 and 90 stem, because
really,
I'm a small person, or a small torso top, I guess, and so I would always get a 48, and then I'd have to have a little nubby stem just because I got little arms. So, and like I really want my hands like very comfortable up in the hood spot, and then down in the drops. I don't want to be reaching out there, because then I don't have any control of my bike whatsoever. I think I always ran 38 bars. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing exaggerated, nothing narrow.
Do you know your shoulder width? 38? No?
They would usually just fit. Yeah.
What do you know what Brad was racing? Because he was a damn good sprinter too.
I think he's on 40s.
What?
42, maybe 42s.
Wow.
Hey, honey.
This is live. Clearly.
Hey, this is real world, man. This is what we do.
Hey, honey.
Lovey? You want me to text him?
No, it's all right. We don't care about him. You're on live. We'll get him next time. Okay.
Brad Huff will be live with Chad Andrews when? I don't know. You schedule that.
Can you imagine that conversation? Oh, my God.
It's great. It'll be great. And then I'll walk in the background back and forth.
Dun-na, dun-na, dun-na.
Right now I'm on a bouncy ball.
Yep. Hey, I'm not. I'm on our couch being lazy ass. Okay, so before we close out, I got one more question for you. And any questions that you guys may have, please go ahead and ask them now. Let me type that now. Got a few more minutes to go. More minutes. Last questions. All right, so who, since you're retired, you can say that. I can ask this. Who, if you were in a race or in a breakaway, did you always find a way to not beat?
What? What do you mean? What?
So let's just say, who did you fear most to sprint against? Kristen Wild, obviously, because we talked about her. Or did you not fear anybody? You were just like...
One of the most crazy sprints I was ever... Well, there's a couple of them, but one of the more crazier ones was the first day of the Giro Rosa with the national team. Mara Abbott ends up winning.
That was a breakaway, right?
No. It was Phil's sprint first day. And I think Jack had drawn car like 14. And in the team meeting, it was a flat stage. 1, don't crash. 2, keep Mara safe. 3, Lauren, try and sprint and move the car up. I was like, cool. No lead out. Like this was all about Mara the whole 10 days, right? So it was all about climbing, and we didn't have lead out train for sprints. So I go super early, just knowing like, for the love of God, I didn't want to crash, and it was nuts. And I mean, super early, like 600 meters. Like,
whoa, okay.
Yeah, just like, I'm out of here. Maybe I could just hold him off. And Voss runs. She ends up winning. Bronzini was second, I don't know who was third, and I was fourth. Oh. Super stoked on fourth. But as Voss finishes her sprint, like as she comes across the line, she hits a divot right at the line, so her right foot unclips. And she finishes the sprint, and then her left foot unclips, and she just crosses the finish line on the top tube. And that it's just like that.
Oh, she went down?
No. She saved it. And I'm just like, it's just sprints happen so fast that you're just like you're right here focused, and Bronzini, and she hesitates, and then you hesitate, and then you look up and you're like, what? We all made it fine. And then you realize after the fact, like,
that could have been bad.
This is like riding her top tube across the line, which was pretty badass.
Go through the top 3 again.
Voss, Bronzini, and I don't know who was third.
That's 2 pretty legit bike racers right there.
Okay. But who I'd fear? And then towards the end of the career at Gila, I will have a good Gila one. At the crit, that crit was always
crazy. Stage racer crits, man.
As long as you stay upright, they're so much fun. And ripping the last corner. I think I'm sitting third wheel. Chloe, Emma, I don't remember who was third, me, whatever. Maybe that's how we came out and finished. But like Chloe won, Emma was second, and I was third. And I was like, this is a cool group to be third to. And now look out.
Yeah, Chloe's pretty good right now, I think.
She's okay.
Yeah, she's average.
But it didn't matter who it was. Like, it was always like that question of, ooh, do I have it today? Is it my day? I hope it's my day because I'm going for it. And my team just spent however long thinking I could do it. So that was always nerve-wracking. My last win was Gatineau in Canada, and we raced that whole 130K, whatever it was, knowing that Rachel had picked me for the day.
Oh.
And it's just that, like, as a sprinter, you have this much time to get it right out of the whole day, right? And your team has been working all day to bring stuff back.
Pressure.
To do a lead out. Like, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And you've got 250 meters to not screw it up. And then you pull it off, and it's like the best feeling in the world. And if you don't pull it off, it's like, maybe they shouldn't have picked me, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of questions back at the car, whether you had it or not. And
yeah, right. So those days that you have it, you freaking enjoy it.
You don't. Yeah. All right. Well, let's tie this thing up. What's your plans for the next couple of days?
Well, it's Friday night, so I'm gonna go pour a glass of wine.
What's Friday got to do with it?
And watch 2 episodes on Netflix of Formula One Drive to Survive. Brad and I love that show.
Mm-hmm. I think they're throttling Netflix, so be ready for it.
Yeah, right. And then we're planning on riding bikes the next 2 days as long as the weather holds out. That's the short term. Long term is to no, I won't have wheeling.
6 feet apart? you know he doesn't have the CV?
Oh, he already had it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's hacking left. No, no. That's short term. Long term, keep working, keep some sort of normalcy in life, and that's all I got.
Well,
what about you?
I'm putting together something for next week where the weather here is actually supposed to turn like Utah-like. It's supposed to be in the 50s and kind of drizzly and rainy this weekend. Starting Monday, I'm putting together a thing where people can join a coach class, like a total cyclist version, but I'll be coaching the class and riding. People can actually download the file, upload it to the device or whatever, whether it's Zwift or Wahoo or whatever, and then 5 minutes into the class, we'll all start the class, and I'm going to coach it. So you can watch the class as I coach it, but be at home on your smart trainer. So I'm kind of working that together. Then I hope to get out tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's not supposed to be that bad. Get out to ride tomorrow. I'm not going to do a group ride. I got to walk the walk if I'm going to. I got to talk the talk or walk the walk or whatever it's called. I got to make sure that I'm just kind of serious about it because I know a lot of people that have immune issues, especially in my family.
And then you got Tim next week, don't you? My cohort.
Yep, Tim Johnson's going to be coming on. I think Allison Tetrick's going to be coming on. I had a sports psychologist, but she got wrapped up into something else, so I'm going to be digging into my Rolodex, spinning it over, and going into that. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It's kind of how do we all adapt to the new normal? We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me be a part of this, and I probably won't be on the trainer ride one, but I would definitely follow. I would love to listen to Tetrick and Tim for sure. Even though I talk to Tim every day, I'm always curious of what you ask him and what his answers are. So
yeah, he and I've worked a lot together, and it's kind of funny how everything just kind of comes full circle in the sport of cycling.
Yeah. Hey, and thanks for being a mentor to me and announcing and a good friend. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, Lauren, for joining us. Again, that's my good buddy Lauren Hall. On the other side, Chad Andrews. Check out tomorrow. We've got these coming every day at 7 o'clock, and then we're also going to be doing cycling classes next week. All right. Peace out, Bean Sprout.
Thanks, man.
MISSISSIPP.